Good
Good
day.
morning.
How are you?
How are you?
Life is so good and getting better.
Good. Okay. All right. I like that morning inspiration.
Yeah, well, I mean, put it like this, it's things are always happening. There's always something, I woke up, my baby sleep,
Mm,
I, I got water, like what,
yeah. Yeah. And
you
you're
know,
being present. You're being present. You're in this moment. It's a good moment.
indeed, indeed, it's one of the best I've ever experienced.
Yeah,
So,
amen. All right. Okay,
so,
Jimmy. Look, you got me all hyped up now. Okay.
so first and foremost, as a native Norker, I want to say I'm proud of you. First of all, like first of all,
Give me a
uh,
crying, Jimmy.
I
It's
know
easy.
I felt it to I felt
I
it.
know. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Because it's a big deal. I'm a real journalist, and so when I take on an assignment, I dive in.
Right.
Like I really let's get the anti-acid out the background, right?
Okay.
All right, so just diving into your story, it's ridiculously inspirational, ridiculous, and just like overcoming, and then the trials, and then the support, and then the willingness to ask for help. Like these are things that people just don't do,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to start with that and just say thank you for that. So
Thank you.
let's
I know.
just right,
Let's
like let's take it
so easy. Some people like doing. You're like, okay, all right, thank
right,
you.
right. So first, I'm gonna start this off as if I don't know anything. I want my listeners, because they may not know anything at all. So let's just talk about it. So you are from New Jersey.
Yes, yes. Well, yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at New Jersey.
You are
I
New
was
Jersey.
actually born and raised in Bayonne.
Bayonne. Oh no, that's dope. That I mean, it's still New Jersey. I
It's
mean,
still
hey,
New Jersey.
it's still New Jersey. So your upbringing. The Fitch Five. You
Oh,
know,
oh,
so
Jimmy, you're killing me. This is good. Yeah. I mean, tight family, spiritual, blessed. My dad was just such an entrepreneur spirit. Like that was a strong black man. He's actually a twin. So I say we have the benefit of having like dad times two, and they were
right,
identical. So,
right.
but my father, besides his work ethic, he worked in corporate America and all that stuff. He was in the army, like he just did everything. And then he dipped his foot into entrepreneurship, and we had our HH&D t-shirt business. So that
Right.
was like my first dip into entrepreneurship. And my mom, just sweetest, most creative person ever. So we had like the dynamic duo for parents. So just I can, people say, oh, their childhood scarred them. And, I was blessed. I had a beautiful childhood. I had a beautiful childhood, and I never take that for granted. So
Right.
it helped me to evolve into, who I am today. And my parents definitely embraced my creativity and just allowed me to go in. I have a funny story, and feel free to cut me off. I have a funny story though, but when I was in college, I was like, I'm gonna do business, because that's what you do. Like, what's your major? Gonna be business. And I was failing business courses left and right. My mother and father was like, okay, we're paying for this, Dawn. So my mother, just really sweetly, I came home one semester, and she's just like, now meanwhile, my whole life, I'm cutting, I'm painting, I'm drawing, I'm doing all kinds, I played a flute. My mother's like, why aren't you an art major? And I was just like, what? I can do that? She's like, it was one sentence. And I was like, I went back to school on Monday and just changed my major to graphic design. And I'm so like, that changed the trajectory of my life. Her one little statement. Why aren't you an art major? Like, your kids. So I said, if she never said that, I would be like an unhappy, unsuccessful accountant somewhere. So
Right.
yeah,
It's that reflection.
yeah.
Like
I was
wow,
like,
like she put a mirror in front of you, like, that
yeah.
makes
She's like,
sense.
this is my baby. She's creative. She's like, Dawn, you're creative. Why aren't you an art major? I was like, you're right, Mom. So I think that let me know that I could really dive into the creative side of me and whatever that brought.
Indeed. So you did speak about HH&D, and how like how did the idea, because I mind you, I watched probably too many videos,
Oh,
but
that's
I
good.
think
Like me.
I seen one that literally at the end almost made me cry. The one with the tapestry artwork for your dad. And just real quick. So my dad passed when I was 16. And what I would do anything to have an adult conversation. You
Yeah.
know, and to see the impact that he had on your family is such a big deal. And I know so many brothers and sisters who have not experienced that. So when you said something like, okay, we started a family business. Here's $1 million. And then so how did that perspective shape where you are today?
Like I said, he set us all down on the couch, and he gave us this little chart. Guys, we're gonna start a family business. We're like, okay. But when he put the money up there, he's like, if we do this, if we work hard, and he showed us the levels, we'll get to here. Here's 10,000. Here's 20,000. Somewhere it jumped to 1 million, and our eyes were like, wow. But he also showed us how gradually with work. He said, we're not going right to 1 million. He said, but we got to do the work, and if we all play our part and do the work, then you can see how. And I think just that visual of seeing, do the work, elevate, do the work, elevate. I think that's something that has always stuck with me is if I do the work and if I do what I'm supposed to do and if I do my part, then I'll get where God has me to go. So I feel like to me, that's just always in my mind. I see that pyramid and I see my father holding that thing and I could see him doing his arm up with next step, next step, next step. So that's something that's always in the back of my head. Like I could see that clear as day. And I think I was 18 and I am so not near 18 anymore.
Right. No comment.
Yeah, exactly. Like no comment. But I mean, it just shows you the power that we have with young people because you can plant something in their subconscious at a young age that will stay with them, good or bad, for a lifetime. So we have to be so careful about that. Even what they overhear us saying, things like that,
Right.
it sticks, especially
Right.
babies. They're just like
Right.
sponges. They hear stuff.
Right. They are the first 6 years of their lives. They are 100% a sponge. And just seeing my 6-year-old, she's one of those miracle babies that, according to the doctors, wasn't supposed to be here.
Wow.
Her mom had a thing, unexplained utero something, and it's basically with the umbilical cord, it doesn't expand. So she wasn't getting proper nutrients like ever, and when she was in the womb. And she had to come out early and they did too many tests on her, and literally we were at the hospital once a week at one point, around a 5-6 month time period. And they even offered an abortion, which is illegal. If we knew what we knew then what we know now, we would own the hospital probably.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so they Down syndrome, they said all the stuff that no parent wants to hear, and I didn't, but they didn't say any facts. They didn't say it. I listened very attentively, and I let my wife do a lot of talking because she's her body, so and I'm just here to learn. I was both our first child, and they didn't say any facts. There was these statistics and these projections, but no facts. I didn't believe a word from it. And here she is, and she's going to second grade, September,
Oh,
and she is I mean I call her sensei. So we have a system in our house where it's teacher student and student teacher.
okay.
So I know when it comes to, like, say making music, I'm a musician, so it comes to making music, I can teach you a thing or two. I do it professionally. But when it comes to, say, Barbie dolls, I'm going to be the student teacher.
You gonna let her have that. You gonna let
you
her
you
have
get
that.
you got it, and amongst so many other things, so right, it's planting those seeds and preparing her to self-regulate and to think critically. So I'm a big fan of your family. So okay, one thing, when I first got into your story, the first thing that popped in my mind is necessity is the mother of invention, right? So how just talk about how your health journey led you to creating Puka.
Okay. I have to say, starting out, I mean, my mom did well for us cooking and eating, but once you go to college and you're in charge of your own food and diet, things change a lot. So
Right.
a lot of people now like, oh, you probably always ate healthy. Nope, I was pizza and all that other stuff, and just not really taking care of myself with the food and diet. So I went to school, as I said, for design, and I had many jobs from marketing. I worked for the NBA. I worked for Sony Music, was my longest job. Love that job, just creative. Like I said, I used to walk to the city. I had theme music playing. I'm a native New Yorker. Oh, I just love that job. And one day I'm walking to work and my legs just got real tight. I was like, okay, I just thought maybe I didn't stretch good. And then it just got so tight, it got to the point where I was like paralyzed from the waist down. And I was just leaning against the building, fear, my heart just beating like this. Thank goodness I was with a friend and I had gotten right to my job. So they called the ambulance, they took me in. And they were just like, oh, it doesn't look like anything. Maybe it was a pinched nerve. But that started a 5-year journey of what the heck is wrong with me? Because those symptoms kept coming back. I would just be woozy. I just didn't feel like myself. And you have to know your body and trust yourself. Because I cannot tell you the amount of doctors and tests I had. And they were like, girl, you're the healthiest girl ever. And then they just kept sending me home. I'm like, I don't feel good. So I want you to find something, not in a bad way, but I want to find a reason for this. Because if you can't fight what you don't know. And so I was just, I would read books and I'm trying to find, and I'm like, all right, well, but I don't know what this is. So I just went very general. I was like, all right, let me work on my diet. I read a great article about, different things. So I started taking out white flour, white sugar, pork, anything I thought could be causing some sort of problem. And I did start to feel better, but I really got into aromatherapy. Like I read an article about that. And I was like, wow, all these herbs are right here and all this, these essential oils from all these natural plants and extracts, and they all had so many properties. And I started to do a lot of research on properties and things that came from essential oils like Lysol and all those type of things, which are thyme and rosemary. But then they mix it with all kind of chemicals to keep it on the shelf and keep it on there for years. And I was like, they're starting from this basis of these essentials. So this is where I'm going to start. So I really started getting into the lavenders and all those type of things. And I started to feel a lot better. And I was like, okay. And, then I opened up my cabinets and I see all my Bath and Body Works and this and that, and, not slamming anything else, but just stuff out. Like I don't need no problems like that. Everything is good. It's up to you. But I just read the labels. I was like, all right, I'm a college educated woman. Even if you're not, I was like, I can't pronounce any of these things. And what are they? So when I did the research, it was almost half of them are just things to, keep them on the shelf, preservatives. And I was like, if I'm not going to eat old food, I'm not going to put old stuff on my skin, which is going to go into my system because I'm fighting this battle of trying to feel better. So that's when I just started making stuff from just stuff that, in my kitchen, soybean, olive oil, sugar, just natural stuff, just to moisturize. It really wasn't a thought. I put my little essentials and things in there. And I had so much stuff because when I do stuff, I just be going overboard. Like my house was just shea butter things that like, I always say I don't cook. So if you come to my house, you will never get a meal, but you'll be moisturized.
Right. Wait, and before you go on, I seen it's an image of you in the kitchen looking like an alchemist. Look like over the stove.
I loved it. I was so annoyed. My friends were so sick of me. They're like, oh, I was like, I can make something for that. Oh, you're gonna eat that? The information was so exciting to me. I just wanted to share it. Hey guys, guess what? Olive oil, you can do this. And guess what? You can take sugar and do this. Guess what? Honey, you can drink it and it's great. It's antibacterial. I was learning so much that I really just, I was just all in and I wanted everybody else to be all in. So I just made products for somebody's like, oh, I have this problem. Oh, I'll make you something. I'll make you a balm for that. I was really against Vaseline, even though we grew up on it, but it's petroleum. It's what we put in our cars. It clogs your pores. It doesn't do anything. Most of it winds up on the inside of your clothes. There's no nutritional value. So I made something called elbow grease, like a natural alternative. And like I said, all the stuff was just for me. But the graphic artist in me said, put a label on it. My mom called us hookalitas. We have no idea where that came. We still ask her. She don't even know why. Where did it come from? I couldn't fit it on the label, so I just put hookah on it. And I just had stuff everywhere. And they were like, PNC Art Center does an African Art Festival. They don't do it anymore, but they did it for at least 20 years because we did it every year. We set up a table and I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. And, it sounds cliche, but we sold out. Yeah, I was like, they are buying. I was almost like looking people like, I made that on my stove, right? Okay, all right, it's good. But, I was just shocked. Like I was like, this is going to be a business. And now there's such a lot of people are doing it. There's a lot of people that are making for themselves and starting business. But back then it was Lisa Price, Carol's daughter. It was a few people.
Right.
So it was a very new experience that like you're buying something that I like handmade that I made. This was 20 years ago. So look, not trying to date myself, but it was 20 years.
Right.
And then at that point, we realized, like, it was my friends, my sister, family, like, this is a business. You know, this is a business. People are buying your stuff. This is a business. Let's see where it goes. So that's pretty much the evolution. It was from me walking down there with my theme music in New York to the hospital, to the doctors, to really just trying to take my health into my own hands, and then seeing if somebody else liked the goodness that I thought was working. If somebody else liked it, they bought it, and we rolled on with that business. We've been doing it for